Hi, Amy with Experience the Quilt. Today I'm just sharing a few quick tips about doing shears on your art quilt. So I have a bunch of shears I'm going to be putting onto an art quilt. And this is a red shear, and I have a teal shear. This one has little flat dots, and this one has like little silver sequins. So the fusible I put onto this is just a regular fusible that is only sticky on once you heat it. This is not sticky on both sides. I mean, it will be once heated, but right now it's not really sticky or tacky until it is heated. So I wanted to try it with this, and I didn't really like the results, mostly because, I mean, granted you can see bubbles because that's where the sequins are. That's not the issue, but I didn't like that the stickiness came through the shear. And I mean, I used my sheet here, my protective sheet, but it still made it really sticky, and I didn't like it. This, however, is a red shear, and I used Misty Fuse on the back, which is one of my favorite fusible I found so far. So Misty Fuse, if you don't know, is a bunch of webbing. It is not sticky until you heat it. There's no paper backing. It's really light, and I love it for almost every single thing I do. I use that. So I put it on the back, and of course sandwiched it between my protective sheet here, and it did great. There was no stickiness that came through the shear, and it's super flexible. Where this one, let me take the paper off and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, I took the paper off. You can see the bubbles. I think that's because of like I said, the little sequins that are glued on there. It's not bad, very plasticky on the back. It's pretty flexible. You can hear that plasticky sound. I think once it's fused down, it won't really matter. But this is super light, no plasticky sound. Feels very similar. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I also did some shear on. This is Steam 2. So it is a paper backing that is sticky on both sides. So it was easier to use because I could just stick my shear on here and iron. I didn't even have to use my special, you know, I think they call them goddess sheets, and not silicone. There's another word for it, and I can't think of it at the moment. It'll come to me. So I'm gonna cut this out and show you what it looks like without the paper on it too. Okay, this is the Steam Seam, the shear with the Steam Seam on it, and it is sticky. I took the paper off, and the backing is sticky. So I mean, it's nice that you can like cut it and place it wherever you want, and it will stay before you iron it. But with shear, it's a little hard because you're now dealing with it touching other things. But it's very soft and pliable as well. Not as soft as the Misty Fuse. Okay, I have my shears with their fusible webbing attached, and I'm cutting little wavy pieces, kind of like a little feather. And I am just using a really sharp rotary cutter because it is not fun when it catches the little fusible ends. Sometimes I get a little edge like that. I kind of like that, so I'm going to keep it. I throw the scraps to the side, and I just keep going. This is one of my favorite shapes. Like if you see some of my other work, you'll see the shape in a lot of things. My wave quilt is all done like this, where I just took my rotary cutter and yeah. So I'm going to pick another color because I want some other colors, and I'm working on a dress for a girl that's flying into space. And it sounds kind of funny saying it, but I have some Misty Fuse kind of sticking out, so I'll just trim that off. And it's just super fun. I just kind of very free form, very fun. And I'll show you when we get it all done. I just wanted to show you real quick. This is a really cool shear. It's iridescent, and it has little, I guess jewels, little teeny tiny beads. They're smaller than seed beads stuck to it, glued to it. I think I bought it at Joann's like 10 years ago. It's really old, but I love it. And this has the Misty Fuse on it, and it just feels great. Like I kept checking if I even had anything because it was so light, but I just wanted to show you that like my rotary cutter just cuts right through it like butter. It's like not a big deal at all. And this is a brand new rotary cutter, and you can get them super cheap. Like I got a pack of them last Black Friday through Missouri Star Quilts for super cheap. I think I paid $1 for 10 of them. Like you can never find that usually, but they work great. But okay, you just be really careful with your fingers that you don't like cut yourself. But I've done this for many years. I only had one problem like 20 years ago that I sliced my finger right there, sliced the side of my finger off. That's when I was using a ruler though. So believe it or not, I've never cut myself cutting like this. I know some people forget about it, but look, this one I want longer, and I'm going to just do the whole way. Isn't that a pretty shape? I really like that. So here's my little piles of paint. These are my shears. And here is my girl that I am decorating her dress with these little shears. So I'm literally just gonna pick up a piece and set it on here. And we're gonna kind of just layer it until it gives me the look I want of her floating through the air. So I decided to just talk you through a little bit of what I did in the video to show how I did the rest of the girl. This is freezer paper. I drew her freehand, but I looked at an inspiration picture. I did modify it quite a bit, so I don't feel like I broke any copyright privileges because I mostly just looked at someone else's picture on and I drew her arms in that position, and everything else is pretty much changed. This is a close-up of her skirt. I added gems. So this is not in order, but these are some gems that I added on. A lot of my shears already had these little tiny jewels on them, or they had sparkles, which I felt was great. But I added these extra, I think they're like I want to say a Swarovski crystal, but I don't know that that's really what that is. I bought them forever ago in San Francisco, and I don't know what you call them. But I just glued them on with gem tack, and I feel like they just turned out really pretty. There is the full finished picture to show you. I decided to quilt the top. The blue sky is a hand painted fabric that I did a long time ago, and I quilted it with a I think it's a white or a silver holographic from Superior Threads. The skirt is quilted with the gold holographic. I love these threads. They add such fun shimmer. And I did use a little bit of Sukaneko Inks truffle for her hair. And then I also quilted it with a multicolored brown thread. I also did the shading of her arms with the Sukaneko ink, a little bit on her shirt. And then after I quilted everything, I used a tiny bit of white oil pastel to give some highlights on her arms, a little bit in her hair, in the sky, and on her shirt. I had the bow on the back of her skirt I already had floating around, so I didn't even have to tie it. I just glued it on. Here's a close-up of her hair. You can kind of see the lines that I kind of added some texture in there. It already was a really beautiful brown batik, but I added the hair lines and then I quilted it. It is kind of messy, but her hair is meant to be like flying through the air. So there's the bow that I just talked about. Another close-up of her skirt. I literally just layered I think I had like 5 different shears that I layered, and I totally forgot about the one that was a orange to red ombre that had the steam seam on the back. It was sticky. I talked about it early in the video. I completely forgot about it and didn't end up putting it in at all. So all of these are with just the Misty Fuse on the back. Yeah, just more pictures that show. I did all of the gems that I added were either teal or orange that I added at the end. So lots of close-up pictures. So This is my finished quilt. I didn't give you all the steps today. We mostly just talked about using shears and fusible adhesives for them, but I wanted to show you how beautiful it can turn out and how easy it can be. These are all just appliqued right on top of each other, and then I quilted it with gold holographic thread from Superior Threads. This is quilted with I want to say like a white, almost a silver holographic thread. I can't remember the right color. I painted using some inks on her arms to shade them. I used a multicolor thread in her hair. I used some oil pastel at the end to give a little bit of highlight. I used Swarovski crystals and I glued them on with gem tack, and they were dry in like 20 minutes. It was awesome. And this has just been really fun. I find that I am most inspired when I have to give something to somebody. So I'm all dressed up to go to a tea party for a surprise birthday party for my friend. So this was a lot of fun. I thought up the idea yesterday and it's done today in less than 24 hours. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. For more like it, just hit that subscribe button below and check out the rest of our YouTube channel. You'll also find videos and tutorials on everything art quilts, whether you're just beginning or learning to enhance your skill.